Hey guys, we've all had that moment of panic waiting for an appraisal to come back, right? Well, I think the secret to smooth closing isn't just luck, it's understanding how you, your lender, the appraisal management company, and the appraiser all connect behind the scenes. Today, we're breaking down that communication loop so that you can avoid delays, boost your efficiency, protect your deals. Let's get into it. Joining me today is Stephanie Abercrombie, Senior Business Development Manager with Equity Solutions. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for
Hi,
joining us.
James. First of all, thank you for seeking me out, reaching out to me, and allowing me to showcase Equity Solutions. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. You know, an appraisal is such a big deal. This is what a lot of the realtors are asking me to talk about. So let's start with the basics. Why do lenders require appraisals?
Well, the appraisal provides an independent opinion of market value, helps determine whether the property is acceptable collateral for the mortgage. The lender wants to ensure the property supports the loan amount and meets the guidelines. A quality appraisal protects the buyer, the lender, and the
Hmm,
integrity of the transaction. So it's very, very important.
yes, it is. And what are the most common reasons that appraisals get delayed?
I think number one is difficulty scheduling inspections. Make sure you have the correct point of contact, phone numbers are correct. Sometimes they'll be like, nobody is contacted, and something so simple like a number is, wrong or whatever. Incomplete purchase agreements, make sure they're signed, they're fully executed, missing addendas, um, lack of property access. Unique or rural properties will also hold it up, or missing renovation stuff. Those are common delays.
Oh, yeah. I mean to tell you. So, you know, I'm glad we're talking about this. So important to, lay the groundwork and make the prep on this. Everyone seems to be talking about UAD 3.6. What is that?
So UAD stands for Uniform Appraisal Data Set. It's a new version of the appraisal form coming out. It modernizes the system, which is much needed. It allows the appraisal information to be collected and reported to Fannie Mae and Freddie. So I like to compare it to TurboTax. A lot of stuff's going to be done out in the field now, and stuff will be filled out. It's going to take a longer to inspect, but a lot of it's going to be done by the time they get to their desk. So think of it as upgrading from a static form to a more intelligent property reporting system.
Wow, that's really awesome. It's a more intelligent reporting system for sure. But why should realtors care?
So it's always good to know what's going on in the industry and what can cause delays, or, there might be a little backup. There's some training that's going to have to go on. November's kickoff date, appraisers are already training. We already have appraisers going through the process now. But, there's, over 10,000 appraisers, probably more across the, there is for sure more, but signed up with an AMC across the United States, and they're all learning these new forms. So it's good for, real estate agents to be aware of some of the delays that might happen.
Amen to that for sure. It's so be good to be proactive and look upon this as a positive change to be prepared for. So this is probably the question that realtors ask me the most. Are all appraisals the same?
No, there's so many differences besides the property differences, the
Mhm.
land, the deeds, all that stuff. There's conventional. That's an appraisal that is primarily just about market value. It's minor cosmetics are called out. It's the easier one to go by. The tougher one is FHA. It still determines the value, but it checks the home's HUD that meets the property standards. The appraiser looks for health, safety concerns, broken windows, missing handrails, things like that, wiring, anything that might be a safety risk. There's also a few extra pictures and stuff they need to take. A VA appraisal is another one, both the veteran and the lender. It protects both of them. In addition to of course, determining the value, they all do that. The property must meet VA minimum property requirements, meaning it needs to be sanitary, structurally sound, and move-in ready. So the last one is USDA. It's very similar to FHA. It looks for both value and property condition, but it also confirms that it meets the USDA eligibility, where it's located, if it's approved rural area. So
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It kind of laid it out very nicely there. I appreciate that. So, which appraisal type lends or tends to create the most anxiety for realtors?
FHA and VA. I just think that there's a few more things that can be called out. There's few more things that we can look at, and how that causes stress or anxiety for realtors is that means delays, and they have not guidelines, deadlines to meet. So it's that's just some
Yeah.
extra steps. So understanding those requirements up front can prevent delays.
Yeah, that's good. We have an open channel with you guys, so we could discuss those situations. So I appreciate
Yes,
that.
always, and you can reach out anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, so uh, how can realtors help improve to make this process smooth and go well for you guys?
So first of all, when they're walking through the home,
Okay.
make sure that, things are the smoke detectors, the CO2, things like that, things that could cause delay that can avoid a 1004D. Look, wires, maybe some health and safety, maybe it's missing, the deck is broken, and the appraiser's going to call it out. That means the appraiser has to come back out. So just looking for certain things like that. Also, upgrade list, contract invoices, those are helpful to give the appraiser. And also purchase agreement, check it over, make sure it's correct, and make sure that they turn in if there's any counter offers or anything like that with the order.
That's really important. And don't wait until the appraisal comes in. Prepare it before the inspection. Provide any information you could provide will help the process. So many realtors hear the term ROV. What exactly is it?
It's a reconsideration of value. It's a formal request to review additional information. So let's just talk layman's term.
Mhm.
Appraisal comes in and you're thinking, wait a minute, I thought it was going to come in for more, you know?
Right.
So what do you do? And sometimes, it's a opinion of value from an individual, from a human being that's trained. So we want to provide data, accurate data, take the emotions out of it, look for closed additional comps. Closed, keyword. A lot of people are like, this one's for sale across the street for $200,000 more. So we're looking for closed. We're looking for factual corrections. Sometimes they miss adjustments. So we're looking for basically things that we can back up, take the emotion out. And you'd be surprised that it does happen sometimes, and we can help with the ROV process.
So what kind of mistakes do you see when realtors challenge appraisals?
So I'm going to there's so many examples, but
Yeah.
the first thing that pops in my mind, let's say a pool. There's no standard number for a pool. Someone can pay, I don't know, $500,000 for their pool, and it could be, a grotto, and, it could be so carried away. And then there's other pools in the neighborhood that are $50,000. So it doesn't matter what you paid for the pool, it matters what the market supports. So appraisers choose a number based on adjustments. So sometimes when you get an ROV and you see, wait a minute, you only gave $3,000 for the pool. Maybe it should be 25,000, and there isn't a right or wrong number, but there is data that can support that. Oh, wait, these houses with the pools are selling for this much more. So we want to point out things like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes an appraiser will miss an adjustment too. So
I mean, the goal is not persuasion. It's they cannot influence the outcome. It's to provide the best available information to make an informed decision. That's pretty much what all we're working at together
exactly,
here. So how
exactly.
does Equity Solutions help realtors, lenders, and borrowers avoid unnecessary issues? I guess pretty
So
much what we've already talked about. Anything else you could
I
think?
think, yeah, we did talk about that, but I think one thing that I can point out is number one is I think missing documents.
Mhm,
That's number one. Number two, make sure documents are signed.
mhm.
Number three, make sure it's good that we go over this again.
Yeah.
I think the number one C, actually, I think it's getting better. People are always missing the smoke detectors and the CO2. I think just make sure they're there. A lot of times a realtor would drive around there, $15. They're battery operated sometimes and, they're missing it. How about the double strapped water heaters? Things like that, whatever is for your county, for your state, just little things like that that are going to get called out. I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
do.
the biggest thing. That's where realtors can make sure that they're educated and what's being called out and make sure that they check for it.
We do see that a lot, don't we? That's for sure. So today's biggest takeaway is that
So
appraisals
much.
don't kill deals. The lack of preparation often kills deals. So understanding the difference between FHA, VA, USDA, conventional appraisals, preparing a completed property information sheet, information that they could send you in advance, and knowing how to properly navigate UAD 3.6 can dramatically reduce delays and improve outcomes. So for realtors, this means fewer surprises, smoother transactions, happier clients, more closed sales. So if you're a realtor and you would like help preparing for appraisal challenges, understanding loan specific property requirements, or navigating a difficult valuation issue, give me a call before it becomes a crisis. So after 28 years in the mortgage business, I've learned that many appraisal problems can be prevented with the right preparation and communication. My name is James Traub, mortgage broker with NEXA Mortgage. Phone number 317-407-8085. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, James. It's my pleasure. I'm with Equity Solutions. He will have my contact information, hopefully below. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but let's contact me and I would love to help. If you're a newer lender, happy to work with you and help you along the way. Any question is not a dumb question. Any question along the way, any unique property, anything you want to go over,